Hi, welcome to PB Garage. We're looking at a C5 A6 right now. This video is going to be a little bit of a test just to get an idea for sound and some other things. So what we're looking at is a motor that was recently had a timing belt done. The whole front end of the car was off. And one of the things that was replaced while the timing belt was being done and the water pump, thermostat, and all of that was the power steering pump, because getting the power steering pump pulley off in order to take apart the front of the motor didn't go so well. The pulley ended up getting bent because it was stuck to the shaft. And the pump was either wrecked by that process or already on its way out before that. So we replaced it with a generic kind of a power steering pump, and since then, we flushed the fluid, filled everything up, everything should have been good, but unfortunately we're getting air into the system all the time, so we're ending up with a lot of noise from the power steering pump, and the fluid's getting aerated, and it's just not working the way it should. And so we're having a look at one of the things that we had thought was that this fitting where the supply of power steering fluid is coming into the pump was actually turned around the wrong way when the pump was received. This is a rebuilt pump from some manufacturer. I'm not sure where it came from, but and one thing that had to happen in order to get the pump on and hook the line up in its stock location was that the neck had to be turned around the other way. Now, I would have thought that this fitting would have had an O-ring on the inside, allowing it to move, but it's possible that that fitting didn't come with an O-ring, and so now when it was moved away around the other way, it could have disrupted the seal into the pump here. And if you have a close look, you might be able to see there's a little trace of some fluid just around the base of that neck. So what we're going to try and do is just clean everything up really well here, and then lay a little bit of sealant around the base of that fitting. Hopefully what'll happen when we do that is it'll just seal up that air leak, and we won't have any more issues with the power steering pump. So right now, having a look at the motor, you can see what I've done. I've taken off the boost tube from the driver's side of the motor here and removed the throttle body boot and one of the blow-off valves or splitter valves. And I've done that just to be able to get access to the power steering pump here. So we've started getting ready to clean up and seal that opening. What we're going to do right now is I've got my compressed air over here to do some cleaning, but before we get started with that, I'm just going to throw a couple of paper towels into the boost tube, or one into the boost tube, one into the throttle body here, just on the off chance that we get some dirt flying around. And by off chance, I mean the certainty that we will have some dirt flying around here when we're cleaning it up. That'll keep stuff out of the intake tract and make sure it doesn't get eaten by the engine. So right now what we're going to do, got some cleaner, so we're just going to give that a quick shot with some brake cleaner. That's actually not brake cleaner, but if we had some, that's what we'd be using. Give it a quick You can see that the paint they've got on this stuff isn't the best. Probably could have used a different product for that, but nobody's going to be seeing that, so that's fine. Now we're just going to get ready and lay down a little bit of sealant around the base. What I like to use a lot of the time for stuff like that is just automotive goop, because it's clear, it goes on very well, it dries up very quickly, and it actually flows really well around the seal as well. So we'll have a look at that now. What I'm going to do to apply this is just use my straight pick here. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the silicone and then get in there and lay it at the base of that little neck. Now it's going to take some time to get all the way around, but that's fine. We're not in a rush, and we want to make sure we get this all done properly. Try to get a good seal. If you guys can see that, you can see I've got silicone now. Getting around the back side of it was a little bit trickier, but I was able to get in there. And also because the neck is on a bit of an angle, the silicone, while it's still wet, is probably going to seep around the back here a little bit as well and just help to make that seal all the way around. So after we applied the sealant to the neck of the power steering pump feed tube, I assembled everything, put everything back together, and right now everything's had a chance to dry. I've put the boost pipe back on, throttle body boot, blow-off valve or splitter valve, diverter valve, whatever you want to call it, and yeah, everything seems to be quiet right now. Now in the past, the pump had been quiet until the motor got fully warmed up, so we're just letting it warm up right now. I'm going to take it for a test drive, but it looks like that solved our issue.